Hey, what's up guys, welcome to today's video. So the homies at Headtoheadbattles decided to run a structure deck tournament. I personally was really excited for this tournament because it's something new, something fresh, and I am a huge fan of structure decks. In fact, that's how I got started into like the Yu-Gi-Oh community itself, right? Soul Burner was my gateway into Yu-Gi-Oh, and since then I'm still playing Yu-Gi-Oh. So you guys already know how addicting structure decks are. They're a really cheap way to, spend $10, meet up with some friends, and just like duel it out. Well, anyways, Headtoheadbattles decided to run a structure deck tournament from a nostalgia perspective, and also because it gives everyone an equal playing field, right? That everyone has an equal and fair chance to come out on top. Well, your boy did it. Your boy won the entire tournament. But before we get there, let me explain to you guys like the rules and how this tournament was ran. So first off, each round, which is single elimination, is here's how it works. Each round, it's going to be single elimination. A pool of 3 structure decks will be given to us, and we'll have to choose one in order to like duel our opponent. Both me and my opponent will not know what decks we'll be choosing, and ultimately, this rotation changes from round to round. So Shadal's and Sacred Beast and Soul Burner might be like the first wave of structure decks to choose from, while the second one can be Dino Smasher Fury, or Emperor of Darkness, or Lair of Darkness. So essentially, every round is going to keep us on our toes, consistently challenging us to, try new decks out, try new strategy outs, and then learn cards as fast as possible, because each round was 12 hours, which means that there wasn't really that much time to practice or really learn each of these structure decks. You kind of just had to go in with the heart of the cards and a little bit of luck, to be quite honest. This tournament was really neat. I really enjoyed this tournament. Overall, the tournament was 5 rounds. Obviously, I won all of them. But most notable, I want to showcase 2 matches where I think technical play is very important, and why technical play actually allowed me to win the entire tournament, alongside a little bit of luck. And I think that in a very slow format such as structure deck format, or in this case, the format that Headtoheadbattles impose on us, we really get to see how and why we make certain plays, and like the role of those plays. Because as you see, like in today's metagame, even Blade Yugioh himself released a video on it today that Yu-Gi-Oh has gone really fast. And in a slow format, I feel like, for example, in 2011 with Plants, you can play very slow, and playing kind of slow means that you have more room to interact with your opponent, which leads to more potential outplay and more potential ways for you to gain advantage, and that's really cool for me, especially as someone who entered the game where the game has evolved from a much slower game, right? Especially for someone like me who's entered the game and seen like the very fast-paced nature of what it's like, right? So because I started in July of 2019, the only thing I know is fast, right? Like all I know is like really fast, really heavy combo format, right? Like I started in when Danger Thunder was just putting up some of the most impressive boards I've ever seen. I'm playing in a current Emancipator format with L-Lake, where like the first turn boards are just ridiculous. Like you're getting VFD'd, you're getting Zexal, you're getting 4-5 negates through 3 hand traps. Like the format has really evolved to something that quite unpredictable. And if you don't have the answer for it, you're probably losing by turn 2, if not 3. Well, in the structure deck format, most times you actually last quite a long time, and I think that gives you room to assess and play to the best of your ability, and I really enjoyed that. So without further ado, I'm gonna walk you guys through 2 of the replays, which I found really enlightening and really fun. One is gonna be the Shadal structure deck mirror, and the other one's gonna be the Dragon Link mirror. I specifically chose the mirrors because I think when we're given the same type of cards and the same pool, what can we do with them, and how are we able to make plays that are gonna help us push for game. But without further ado, guys, we're gonna jump right into it. Alright guys, so the first part of the video is gonna be a Dragon Link mirror. Shout out to Shu. I lost the dice roll and he elected me to go first, which makes sense. Like I think the structure deck format, it's better to go second, because having that extra card is still valuable, and more often than not, the opponent going first doesn't really set up that much interaction with you. So like the only interaction they'll have is like the back row, which is not as prevalent. But in like the Dragon Link deck, the back row is really important. So like I think this is a really balanced and a fair deck, and I think it's really, really cool to play this. But I'm going to show you, because I didn't draw really well, but I'm going to show you how I'm able to win even though I don't draw well. And that's really, really important, because I think when you are, you know, when your back's against the wall and you have pretty much like very, very low % chance to win, like how do you figure that way out? Like how do you, you know, climb out of the hole? So we're gonna jump right into this, and what I go through is I set 3. I know Twin Twister is available, but I'm not afraid because of IO, and if he does discard one, he goes -1, and I was okay with that. So he's gonna start off with Auto Rocket and then special summon Apsarouse. So he drew really, really broken. Like you can see here that he drew absolutely busted, right? And he's gonna hit me for 16, and I don't Mirror Force this because he's gonna get Auto Rocket effects at Graveyard at the end phase, and then he's gonna get a search off Apsarouse. So I literally went -1, and he's gonna go +2 on this. So it's just like didn't make sense. I just took the damage, and I wanted to keep my back row as invisible as possible so that like it makes him think I might have something. Or like just puts him on like pressure. Anyways, he makes Quad Boral here, which is I think definitely a mistake. And he's gonna activate Boral Supplier, so he's being really greedy here. So the reason why he made this is so that in my standby phase he can revive back a rocket monster and go even more plus. But I think that's definitely a huge misplay, and we'll see why pretty soon. I top deck a Squidjaw, which is really, really bad, and the reason why I don't IO the Boral Supply here is because it puts me on a clock. He has a lot more advantage than me, and if I activate this, I also can't make my Squidjaw alive, so I decided to let it go, let him summon the card, because it's going to get destroyed at end phase anyways. And then what I do here is I go normal summon Defrag and crash into the Quad Boral. If he summoned the other Link too, Booster Dragon, then he actually would have had a 1900 Link monster, and I wouldn't be able to crash here. And I probably would have IO'd the Boral Supplier in that case. But anyways, I'm gonna crash into the monster, and you'll see here that I set the Squidjaw just to like bait out and make him think that I have a Mirror Force. Obviously I do, but like just to like make him think that like my back row is really, really insane, just so I don't die, because I am afraid, right? Like I'm at 5200, and if he tops like Rocket Tracer, he can go like Tracer attack for 16, attack for 16 again, and activate Tracer pop to summon the 2000 monster, and then just kill me. He top decks like Paladin of the Felgrand, which is really, really good for him. So I was like, oh man, that's really, really good. But then at this point, he forgot to activate Auto Rocket's effect, because Boral Supplier is definitely mandatory, so it was fixable. Thankfully, we caught it at draw phase, so we reversed the game state really quickly. I was like, okay, you have to put the card you drew back, summon the card you wanted to do, and then draw for turn. He summons Tracer and then top decks to Defrag. He's going to use Defrag effect to put Shrine in the graveyard. I don't know if that was correct, but anyways, he does that, and he's going to use Tracer effect to pop the Frag Dragon, which I didn't think makes sense, because if he just attacked, and then used Tracer to pop Supplier, that would have been like a lot of damage. He also summons Explode Rocket in defense mode, which is another misplay, and he attacks for 16. I'm like, okay, sure. And then at the end of battle phase, he activates Link Turret to put 4 counters. And then at the start of M2, he uses the effect to bring back Auto Rocket. He's going to link both of them, and I immediately banished Auto Rocket for him, because if you read Link Turret, which is broken, by the way, guys, if you guys have not read this card, this is essentially a Monster Reborn for the archetype like 4 times, which is like the nuts. But it leaves the field and it gets negated when you summon whatever. So he's going to make Booster Dragon here. And he's going to use the Booster Dragon effect on Explode Rocket to deal an extra 2000 to me. You'll see if he actually put this in attack mode and attacked me, and then main phase 2 made Booster Dragon, and then used it on Explode Rocket, I would have literally lost the game. So I take the 2000 here, and like I said, he literally had game. I should not have won game 1, as you saw here. And that he's going to get really punished for this, because why? I top deck Rocket Tracer. And this is why you'll see what the next line of play that I'm about to do. I go normal summon Tracer, and then I'm going to activate IO, let it resolve, and then pop the IO to summon Metal Rocket. At this point, thankfully, because I didn't set Poly to bluff, which is really critical here, I can then make Quad Boral, use Quad Boral effect to pop his Booster Dragon, bring back 2 of my monsters that I use, and then guess what? I can make a Boral Load Savage. I'm sorry, a Boral Load Dragon. Not Boral Savage, guys. I can make a Boral Dragon. Well, why is this important? Well, because I have a set Squidjaw, so that's really, really cool. I'm gonna attack his Tracer. He's gonna chain the Tracer effect. Tracer effect is gonna summon the Rocket Syndrome. I'm gonna attack the Recharger, and then when I attack the Recharger, I'm gonna use Squid Draw on it. I'm gonna use Borlo to make the Keep the Giant lose its stats because it's permanent. Squid Draw the Recharger here. Draw into Boot Sector and a Borlo Supplier, which is really, really good because now I can go Boot Sector, and then I can activate the Borlo Supplier. So I can then bring back Tracer. So watch this technical play that I'm about to do. At end phase, he's not going to have anything. But anyways, look what he's going to do now. I'm going to use, in stand my phase, Borlo Supplier to bring back Metal Rocket. So if you guys read Reddit Market, it says you can destroy this card, then destroy all your opponent's cards in the column this card was in. So why is this important? Because if you've noticed, I put this in the link zone. So that means that if he tries to out my Borload's dragon, I can just use Borload on my metal and then just destroy his column and then just literally win the game. So he's going to literally go to M2, use the effect of a Link turn to bring back a monster. And here you'll see that he's going to link all of them off and then make Borload dragon. And then literally on resolution, I asked him, you have any quick effects you want to use? He says, no, I use Borload on my metal, then chain metal to send to destroy his Borload dragon. And then at end phase, I get to trigger Metal Rocket, and then I'm going to trigger Rocket Chaser's effect as well to pop my Boot Sector, summon another card, and then there's no way he can even Mirror Force me, because if you use Borload's effect on attack declaration, then that means that it passes the window for which he can activate the Mirror Force. So that's like a really cool battle phase technique you can do. So I just, destroyed him there. And the thing is, if you notice, I was not supposed to win, right? Like, that's really, really important to know. Like, I was not supposed to win. But if you give me an inch, you give me a mile. And that's exactly what happened here. Like, you have to take note. If he did not misplay, he should have won the game completely. But I think that's the important thing that you do. Like, don't give up, guys. Like, because playing perfect is really hard, especially under like pressure. I mean, we had a really casual match. We had a lot of fun. Like, we were really like talking to them, we were interacting, and it was good sportsmanship. But like in a more competitive environment, people can feel pressure, and I was calm. Like, I was, constantly thinking of ways I can out his board, what I can top deck, etc., etc. And I think that's what's really helped me like win this game. Anyways, he's gonna go first here, and he decided to go first, even though he let me go first the other time. And then he top decked something that actually is going to help him win the game. He's going to activate the Rapid Trigger to summon the Borload Furious. And then at end phase, he's going to trigger Shell. You'll see here that like I bricked. And then the Borload Furious, I just didn't have an out for it. So I'm literally just going to get popped on Radiant Normal Summon. And then I'm just going to keep losing resources. I set a lot of back row to bait out his Borload Furious. He's going to summon Explode Rocket. So like he's going to keep floating his cards every single turn. So he puts this in defense mode to play around the Mirror Force, which is really smart. But then he fell right into it. I didn't have the Mirror Force, so I was really glad that happened. Then he pops like the Twin Twister, which I'm really happy about because it was just a bait anyways. And then I top deck Labyrinth Dragon, which is really bad. Technically, Polymerization can also get me my own Borload Furious Dragon, but because of the fact that like I don't have a 2 Dark Dragons, I can't poly. And so like I really needed like any other top deck, and he's gonna pop my card, and there you're gonna see he's coming just all of this. He still keeps Borload Furious in face down defense mode, which technically he shouldn't have, because if I if he just normal summon Borload Furious, use its effect to like pop like the Felgrand that's equipped to Absorouter, I think I would have taken the 50-50 to guarantee like kind of game. And even if I miss, I just keep Borload Furious in defense mode. But anyways, he's gonna declare an attack with everything, and then on the last thing, I activate Magical Cylinder here, and then he makes the Booster Dragon, and he's gonna make Triple Burst here just because it was a misplay, because he can't make the Booster Dragon because it needs 2 rockets. And then you see the Absorouter coming down here. So off of the return, I essentially didn't like top deck that well. Like I said before, I top decked a light dragon. So, and even if I top deck anything else, there's nothing that can get me out of it. The only thing that I could have gone out of it would be Rocket Tracer, because Tracer can I can bring it back with Link Turret. And technically, if it was any other rocket monster, he would have popped the normal summon, because he's been doing that. I can go main phase 2, Link Turret, bring it back, activate Poly, then make my own Borload Furious, and at that point, like, I would have still lost anyway. So like there was just no way for me to win. He's gonna pop it, and then yeah, I just automatically lose here. So we go to game 3. I mean, I just bricked. I did the best I could, and that Boiler Fierce was just doing too much. So you're gonna see like a lot of the plays I did here that showcases the technical play. I activate Dragon Shrine, and a lot of people would never have thought that Dragon Shrine has that effect where if you send a normal monster, you can send one more dragon monster from your graveyard. Well, why did I dump the Labyrinth Dragon? Well, because I have World Chalice Guard Dragon. This is like the importance of like reading your cards, right? Because World Chalice Guard Dragon is a hand trap. It protects your link monsters from being targeted and negates and destroy anything that does target. And then when it is in the grave, you can banish it to bring back any normal monster in your graveyard. Well, if you look at the Rocket structure deck, right, the only vanilla monster in your entire deck is actually the Labyrinth Dragon. So that's why like I Dragon Shrine the Labyrinth into the Absa Router and then trigger the search. So that's just like a cool technical play. And then I searched Rocket Syndron on here. So a lot of people would have searched Tracer, but Rocket Syndron is a lot better because that means that my turn 2 play would essentially, or my turn 3 after passing to my opponent would mean I can bring back Absa Router, and then when I link it off, I can then essentially search, switch going +1, and then use the effect of Quad Boral to pop his cards, which essentially means that he cannot link summon against me. So that's like putting a lot of pressure with the Rocket Synchron, which is really, really strong. So I'm just gonna go normal summon Metal and just attack. He's gonna basically use Checksum here. And then he's going to try to use, like, Mirror Force Launcher at end phase, but I told him that he can't. It has to be during his own main phase. And then you'll see right here, he actually tops, like, the Mirror Force, so he can't even use it. So that feels bad. He's going to attack the Metal Rocket and then trigger Dragonite Creation. That's really, really good. Technically, there was, like, no way for me to play around it, but that essentially lets him dump Absa Router, which makes his Rocket Synchron live. That's a really, really good play for him. Then end phase, it doesn't really matter because Metal Rocket will float into Tracer, so I was not as worried. I then go normal summon Rocket Synchron to bring back the Absa Router, and then essentially use the Rocket Tracer's effect to pop the router to search. Why did I do that, right? Like, why did I pop Absa Router to search and then summon instead of popping any other card with Tracer? Well, here's the main reason why. I want to get the search, but Tracer gives me any rocket monster from my graveyard, and if you look at the way I'm playing carefully, you'll notice that like there's a reason why I summoned Auto Rocket. I wanted to send a spell or trap card on the field to the graveyard. Because he didn't use this effect during his own main phase, I immediately knew that he had to have a Mirror Force in like right here. But I knew at the end of the day, I still have to get rid of this Mirror Force launcher because he can recur his Mirror Force otherwise, and that's really, really scary. So you're gonna see me do this. I'm gonna make Booster Dragon, then use Booster Dragon up to target the Auto Rocket, then chain Auto Rocket to send the Mirror Force launcher, which means he can't recur his Mirror Force, even though I knew he said it. Like, I didn't know, but I had a really good guess. So I'm gonna attack the Dragon Knife Creation here, and even he admitted that was a really, really good play on my part. Here, I summoned the Shell Rocket. It technically should have been in the middle column. That was a misplay on my part. The reason why I did that was because I was not afraid to summon Booster Dragon because I had World Chalice Guard Dragon to play around his Quad Boral. If he made his own Quad Boral and targeted my Booster Dragon, I can just use World Chalice Guard Dragon to negate it. And then it would have destroyed his. And then he would have went -2 because he used 2 monsters to make it. And then I can just use this to gain a +3 because I can summon back Labyrinth Dragon. So I had like an insane play. I meant to summon this in the middle zone. I just totally forgot. But that was definitely a misplay on my part. But he's going to make his own Quad Boral. You'll see that he actually targets Shell Dragon. He ends up not targeting Booster Dragon because I think he misunderstood how World Chalice Guard Dragon works. And so he did predict it, but it was just like a misplay on how he understood it. And then he's going to activate Boot Sector Launch. And upon doing so, he's going to try to especially summon 2 rocket monsters from his hand. But you see that when he did Quad Boral into Shell Rocket, he made another misplay, right? What did he do? He triggers Shell Rocket's effect because it works when any Link Monster effect targets his face-up card on the field. So, like, it's just, like, the misplays are really, really punishing. When I owed his Boost Sector, I can then summon Silver. And then, essentially, here, I'm going to go for, like, a lot of, like, damage. So, here's how I do that. First, I get World Chalice in the graveyard by using the Mirror Force launcher. There, I search Mirror Force. I can then banish the World Chalice Guard Dragon to bring back the Labyrinth Dragon. And then I can then use Booster Dragon to target Silver Rocket. Why did I do that? Because I want to banish his only out to one of my biggest monsters, which is Borlo Dragon. Like, he has no other outs against Borlo Dragon in his deck. And so if I can take it out of his deck, I basically put myself at a huge advantage. And then I can use Fulgurant's effect. Oh, well, I'm not even going to use effect. I'm just going to normal summon it just so I can make the Borolo Dragon. And then on attack declaration, look what I did. I went effect target checksum on attack declaration. Why is that important? Because I have turn player priority, which means that he cannot chain Mirror Force. It misses that window. And I even had the ruling immediately for it because I made the red that he had Mirror Force. Like, I made that red. So there I essentially just beat over the checksum. And then I get Magna Rocket. I've set Twin Twister, and then I have Mirror Force. Like, I just had like so much advantage, and he top 6 Boral Regenerator. So he just essentially couldn't win at this point, right? Because you have to keep in mind, I had a Magna Rocket. What does that mean? That means that whatever he tries to summon, I can activate Borolo, target Magna, affect Magna, send one monster on the field to the graveyard non-target, which means he can't even chain Tracer to outplay me. And of course, because I have the Mirror Force along a Mirror Force launcher, he knows that there's no way for him to actually out my Borolo Dragon, and it was just, I would literally just gain too much advantage, and so he just scoops here. So that was pretty much it for the Rocket Mirror, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that and you learned a little bit from that. All right, guys, and now I'm going to showcase you guys like the Shaddoll Mirror match and how it worked out. So this is really, really cool. Shaddoll is one of my favorite decks. It's a deck that I'm really, really comfortable with. So you saw that I drew like okay. He drew Shaddoll Core, Resh. He had Dragon, Zephyr-Naga, and then Turtle. So we both opened decent. Not the best, but decent. I opened like very similar to how he did. Like Sheg-Naga, Turtle, Shadow Game, Unending Nightmare, and Allure is really powerful. So the Allure is going to be nuts. I drew into two... one Felix, which is really bad, but Super Poly is really, really broken. I banished Zephyr-Naga because it's really like useless pretty much. And then I meant to that was like a big misclick on me. I didn't mean to set the Turtle. I just set the Squamata. And then I set Unending Nightmare, the Super Poly, and then the Sinister Shadow Game. Technically, I get outplayed by Twin Twister here, but I felt like comfortable setting all of it. He activates Shaddoll Core, and then he's gonna essentially flip over Dragon to bounce the Squamata to my hand. I like said that's okay. And then at the start of battle phase, what I do is I actually Super Poly him. And so the reason why I do this is because he flipped Dragon over already. That means like he gets no advantage if I were to like Super Poly his card. And I didn't want him to like, you know, eventually get to an El Shaddoll or like any way for him to go plus off the core. So I wanted him to like lose his materials as fast as possible. So I do that to make my window. And then I top deck Foolish Barrow, and the Foolish Barrow is gonna be like the nuts. It's gonna be like the nail in the coffin because it's gonna get me access to Shaddoll Beast. And then I'm gonna set one more Squamata just for like the Sinister Shadow Game. Essentially I wanted to have a way to Sinister Shadow Game him and then pop his monster at like and basically play like the control game is essentially my game plan at this point. He top decks average, which is really good, but he just doesn't have enough monster in the graveyard. So at end phase he passed, and I just literally went Sinister Shadow Game. I'm going to flip Beast, flip Squamata, and then send Falco so I can set the Falco. Then on my turn, I can flip the Falco, bring back cards back, and then it would just be way too much advantage, and he just like can't beat that. So you see me flip both, and I just go like so plus. And then the next turn, I'm pretty sure I was just going to like OTK him, to be honest. Like it was just way too like advantage. And now he's going to try to go first again. He sets Lost Wind and the Trick Clown. I drew the Shaddoll fusion, which is really, really nice. But anyways, I normal summon Curry Bandit, and then I hope for RNGesus. I hit a bunch of really good cards. Squamata, and then I can add like Avarice to my hand or Allure. I decided to add Avarice because I have like a bunch of monsters in the graveyard, so I want to recur my resources. And then I can then like Squamata, send Wendy, and then set B. So I have like basically a free draw 2 next turn off Avarice and recycle the resources. So I was really comfortable with this position. I can then like flip the Beast, draw 2 cards, dump Felix, which is absolutely dead in my hand. And here's how I go for game. I went Twin, dump Kios, dump Lost Wind. He's going to chain Lost Wind. And then here's how I go for game under 2 set cards. So I activate Avarice, shuffle back all my resources. And then at this point in time, I get to draw 2 cards, but I draw Dad. And so you're probably wondering, Pack, how the hell do you get 3 Dark Monsters in the graveyard? Because you have nothing at this point. Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to activate Net Fusion, which a lot of people don't know how this card works. But essentially, you equip it to a monster, and you can change the attribute to whatever you want. And then you can use it as Shaddoll Fusion. But you saw right here that I went set Hedgehog. Before I did anything else, I went set Hog. Well, why did I do that? Because I'm going to activate Shaddoll Fusion and then trigger Hound. And not a lot of people know what this does, but Hound actually flips up any face. It basically targets any monster on their field and changes battle position. And flip effects monsters are not activated this time except Shaddoll monsters. So I essentially wanted to flip the Hog to search an El Shaddoll, so to make my core like even more valuable. Anyways, I also go construct effect here because I can make Beast a light off Net Fusion, because Net Fusion changes the attribute. So like I called light and made my Beast a light monster. Anyways, I'm gonna dump Squamata and then search the fusion. Use Squamata effect to get Wendy. So why did I dump Squamata? Well, that essentially gets me the 3rd Dark for like Dark Arm Dragon. And so you'll see me right here summon Dark Arm Dragon. I'm just gonna banish, pop all of its cards. He's gonna bring back the Clown. I'm gonna pop it again, and you'll see me attack with both of these cards, deal 56. And then I actually didn't even need the El Shaddoll, but just in case his, like, you know, he had something, I had the core to attack for 1450 for game. But if I didn't need it, I can also El Shaddoll for like a, you know, App Cologne, because core can be any attribute. Actually, no, I don't think I can, but it can be like Sheshanaga or like literally anything else as well, which is really, really powerful. And then that's essentially it, guys. So that was a quick 2-0 there, just to showcase you guys some of like the technical play with the mirror. But like if you didn't know how to like combo with the Shaddoll deck and like the, you know, the short card, this is how you do it, right? So I wanted to showcase you guys this. I hope you guys enjoyed like this, like these like replays. And now we're gonna get back to like the topic at hand. So what did I win by going first place? Well, Head-to-Head Battle said that I would be getting their very exclusive playmat, which is like the Ghost Girls Gone Wild, essentially Ghost Girls at a mature age. Really, really sick playmat. Definitely check out headtoheadbattles.com if you guys are interested in purchasing them. It would mean a lot for Jen, who actually, you know, drafted and, you know, did the whole thing from beginning to scratch. But also, like, it would be really cool to support the channel. So if you haven't checked them out yet, I'll have all the information in the description box below. Definitely go give them a look. They make really high quality videos, and I'm a huge fan of them. And also, like, we became really, really good friends. So I really, really appreciate that. And then secondly, everything that I won, which is first of all, a really, really nice binder, a really, really nice deck box, and then the playmat. And I'll actually be giving it all away. So how do you win this giveaway? Well, first off, you have to be subscribed to me. You have to like the video, and then you also have to comment in the comment section below what is your first page for that binder that you're going to be gonna look like. You know, is it going to be, you know, a page full of like your favorite hand traps? Is it going to be, you know, like 3 constructs, you know, 3 App Cologne, 3 Wendy? Like what are you going to have in that first page of that binder if you were to win the giveaway? Secondly, also in the same comment what you would put in that deck box, like what deck you would have. Would you have a Shaddoll deck? Would you have an Adamantipator deck? Would you have an Elec deck? Cyber Dragon? Let me know. And then last but not least, comment your favorite part about this video. Let me know. And that's pretty much it, guys. Just very quick, easy steps to enter the giveaway. And like always, guys, thank you so much for your support. I'll be choosing a winner in 2 days. So I'll post, by the time I upload my like 2 videos from now, I'll be announcing the winner, and then I'll have you guys, you know, message me your address, and then we'll ship them out right to you guys. And don't worry, we'll cover the shipping. But anyways, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.